Hi everyone, I'm Gary, Return of the Nerd, and today's going to be episode 6, the finale of the Kenobi TV series. We're going to break down all that happened. Eric is here again with me. Eric, thank you for joining me for all
As
6 episodes.
as always,
Yeah, and
wouldn't miss it for the world.
so yeah, talking about the runtime, 50 minutes. I thought that it was just enough to finish the story because again, yes, last week we were a little bit worried that how are they going to fit all of these, how are they going to tie up all of these loose ends and satisfy the audience in this final episode because there were so many things that had to take place before we wrapped up the show.
Yes, very much so. Well, I mean, I personally, I think that as with as much coverage as they had to go through, I think it was perfect
Yeah.
for what they gave us.
Mm.
I mean, the beginning with the being chased down the by the Star Destroyer that gave me Empire Strikes Back vibes when the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon is being chased by the Star Destroyer, and they even had the same theme, that dun 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 dun, dun
Yeah.
and Vader standing on the bridge. Oh my God, I was just loving it.
Mm.
And then of course, then the Inquisitor trying to butt in, saying we need to chase these guys, not him. And
Mm.
he's like, no, we're chasing this guy.
Yes.
Back off.
That whole episode
Right.
was, there was like this overarching theme, which was Vader is blinded by his hatred, even though he has turned to the dark side and he is incredibly powerful. He's still not. When you think about Palpatine, Palpatine is extremely calculating in what he does.
He's cold and calculating.
The puppet master. He's always playing chess all the time, and he's one step ahead of you. Whereas Vader's just always seems to be one step behind everyone else, and just
he's like barreling through things head first all the time. And a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people, well, how did Reva survive? How did Reva survive the first time? How did Reva survive this time? We don't know. I mean, how did Fennec Shand survive?
Mm.
She got shot point blank in the gut.
Mm.
Blaster. How did she survive? Boba Fett found her. We don't know if she was found and taken to somebody and have cybernetic parts put in her.
Mm.
We don't know. Nobody knows that as of yet. So people need to take that with a grain of salt and say, okay, that's something we're going to find out down the line. Stop worrying about how she survived and just focus on the fact that she's now after Luke.
I like the opening scene on Tatooine where you get the camera angle from behind her. You don't know it's her, right? Because she's got the hood on. She just looks like that old, wizard Jedi cape, and then it pans around. You see her, but she looks rough. She's like sweating. She's broken out into a fever. She's limping. It kind of reminded me of Kylo when he had that injury. He's number 7, and he's like punching his leg, and the blood's coming out.
Yeah, she was suffering. You could tell. I think she may have had an infection at that point.
Yeah,
but she was feeling it, even though lightsabers cauterize those wounds as they cut. Still, that had to have done some damage, especially after there was probably scar tissue in the first place from the first stab.
Yeah.
Maybe where Vader stabbed her again was in the same spot. So all there was scar tissue.
Yeah, there was already
at that point.
There was already a hole there.
Yeah, exactly. It was just covered up by her outfit. The only thing I really don't understand is, okay, she knows there's 2 kids. Does she know they're Anakins?
That part I'm confused as well. Yeah.
Because why would she go after the boy? Is it just because Obi-Wan is protecting them? Is that why she's going after them?
I had this conversation with my friend yesterday. We couldn't figure out why Leia or Luke would be in this because
Well,
Reva started.
I can understand.
You know, Reva started the whole thing going because she wants to get to Vader. She's hunting him. In order to get close to him, she needs to go up the ladder. She's using Obi-Wan as bait,
a catalyst,
yes, or as a catalyst, yes, to speed that process up. And then she uses Leia as bait for that. But she didn't really need to use Leia.
Yes and no. She even explained it. She said she found archives that showed that Bail and Obi-Wan were friends. So she figured that Bail would react to kidnapping of his child at that time, what she thought was his child. So that, I think that's why she kidnapped Leia. So I can understand that point. But the point of going after Luke, that was a bit iffy. But in the grand scheme of things, we may find that out.
I was very, very anxious during that last act where Owen says, "Luke, you got to hide in here," and the Tusken Raiders are on the loose again. And if anyone comes in, you're going to have to defend yourself. There's a whole run out. Just run. Keep running. Don't look back. And because I was so worried the whole time that, Luke is not supposed to be, he's not supposed to know about Jedis and Inquisitors and all these things. No, he's not. So when Reva burst into the room and then you can already see his legs. He's disappearing through the hole in the roof. And then he starts running through the desert. And I'm shouting at the TV screen saying, "Keep running. Do not look behind you. There is no red lightsaber. Do not break canon."
Well, he didn't. If you look, he never saw the lightsaber. Because, in A New Hope, he didn't know what a lightsaber was. In fact, one of the deleted scenes, I think, he actually pointed the damn thing at his face. It's like give the most deadliest weapon in the world to an inexperienced person or to the savior of the galaxy. And what does he do? First thing he does is point it at his face.
Yes.
But no, he never saw the lightsaber. So I was glad for that. It solved quite a few plot holes.
It sets up a spin-off for Reva, though, because she does. We were all pretty much certain that she's gonna die, and then she doesn't.
No, I see. That was one of the spoilers. Because I read, like I said, I read one of the ending spoiler. Says she does find out about Luke, and then she decides not to hurt him.
Yes.
Which is basically what happened. But there was a little more to it. She saw herself becoming Vader if she stabbed him.
Right.
But going back, it was nice. If you looked, I enjoyed that fight between Vader and Obi-Wan. It was nice to see Obi-Wan get back to most of his old self. And then, he's under all those rocks, using the Force to keep himself from being crushed. And feeling downtrodden, hearing Anakin's voice, "You made me," and all this. And then he starts using the Leia and Luke, and he uses that to prop himself up and give him the confidence he needs to do what needed to be done.
See, that's the thing. A lot of people are thinking that right now. How come every time those guys meet, neither of them die? And I think that because Anakin has a very emotional bond with Obi-Wan, their master and Padawan. So I think that at this point, Anakin is still in there somewhere. He's got this split personality. And Kenobi, the first time round, I think maybe Kenobi really believed that, okay, there's no way he can survive these injuries. This is ridiculous. But somehow he did, because Palpatine was right behind, and managed to save him. But I don't know. In this one, I felt that Kenobi couldn't kill him. It was he couldn't finish the job. He was too emotional.
But see, at the end, and it was good to see that range of emotion that Obi-Wan showed was just amazing. He was literally heartbroken,
Yeah.
Even more so than last time. But if you remember in A New Hope, Darth Vader says, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I'm the master.
Mm-hmm.
And Obi-Wan refers to him. He goes, only a master of evil, Darth. He never says Anakin or anything like that.
Yeah.
If you look, he says, and it was neat to see, Hayden Christensen's face behind that mask. And the grin, if you look at the grin he had, he goes, you didn't kill him, I did. And you could just see the corner of his mouth. And Obi-Wan says, okay, goodbye, Darth. He acknowledges that he's no longer Anakin, he's Darth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was a good part, because that was his split personality, like kind of those two sides fighting with each other, Anakin and Vader. The mask, he's got half a mask, half a face. He's half Vader, half Anakin. You've got the voice of Anakin, then suddenly you've got James Earl Jones' voice kicking in at the end of the sentence. So it's a mix of those two. It was very clemly done. And
it was wonderfully done. Yes. The only thing that has... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say it was a bit like... reminding me a bit of Psycho, the Hitchcock. When he does the voice, of his mother, Norman. And so Vader is having a conversation like with himself and with Anakin. He says, he answers Kenobi. Kenobi's actually talking. 1 second, Kenobi's talking to Anakin. Then suddenly Vader comes out and answers the question. He says, you didn't kill him, I did, which means I'm Vader, I killed Anakin. But Anakin's still in here somewhere.
Kind of like Gollum out of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
Yes. The only thing throughout this series that has constantly bothered me is there was too much shaky cam.
Yes.
Way too much.
Way too much.
That is the only, because if you watch the way Lucas shoots, and I know she's not Lucas, but it is a Star Wars film. And even Gareth Edwards in Rogue One, he used shaky cam, but it wasn't overused. Lucas only used shaky cam like for ships going overhead, like the Venators going overhead, and it would shake the camera. But this was almost entirely shaky cam, and it kind of starts to make you a little bit ill. Anyways,
go ahead.
Back to the elephant in the room. The major cameo that
it's okay. Heavy spoilers. It's okay. Go for it.
Qui-Gon coming back.
Yeah, baby.
I honestly expected the voice.
Yeah.
You put out a poll and said who do you expect? Do you expect Qui-Gon to show up in episode 5? And I was like, nope. Episode 6 for sure. I expected a voice, because up until now he's always been portrayed as a disembodied voice, because he didn't have the I don't know, the skill set or the knowledge to force project himself. But apparently now he does. 10 years on. And it was great to see, because Liam Neeson has stated that he would not go back to television. But this technically isn't television.
No.
So, but to see Liam Neeson back in the role, and also, I do have to acknowledge Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor. That those two cameos right there, definitely. There was just so much about this episode. I mean, specifically just seeing Obi-Wan walk up to Luke and go, "Hello there."
Yeah.
Was worth it. I'm sure every fan out there lost their shit over it.
Oh, yeah. We were screaming at the TV. And it was like almost the last scene, and then he says it. Everyone's been waiting 6 episodes for this to come out of his mouth.
Hello there.
Man, Ian McDiarmid can keep a secret. That guy is really...
Oh, yes.
He's Palpatine. He really is the living embodiment of the true Lord of the Sith, because he was at Star Wars Celebration for 4 whole days, and this guy had a busy schedule. He was on stage doing presentations, asking, doing Q&A. People even asked him several times. They're like, "So you sure you're not going to be in the upcoming Kenobi series?" And he was like, "Nope." And move on, next question. And it was like, okay then, well, and then very last scene, I was like, oh, here we go, hologram time. And then as it kind of, the camera is facing Vader, so we only see behind Palpatine, right? But then when we get that front view, I'm like, nice, because he looks exactly the same as in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
that youngish.
He did that. They did that. The CGI on his neck and all around. I think what they did is they did mocap on him.
Yeah.
So, and I thought that was it was a little bit off, but it was still an amazing cameo. That and Qui-Gon Jinn. Between the highlights of this is the ship chase, Vader fight, Jinn, Emperor, and hello there. And those are the highlights of the entire 6 episodes.
Yeah,
it made the whole series worth every minute of it.
Yeah, people are saying even a lot of the naysayers are like, after watching that final episode, they're like, okay, we need to see more. We need an episode 2. Not episode 2. We need a season.
Yes. Just wanted and I can understand people just wanted a Vader and Obi-Wan type battle type thing. But we can't have 6 episodes of just Obi-Wan and Vader chasing each other back and forth. That just wouldn't work. So they had to put Leia in there. They had to put Luke. They had to show us Obi-Wan's life and the fact that he was so downtrodden.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, it was, the whole series was worth it for me.
So okay. Compared to, all right, we've got Book of Boba Fett, and now we've had our second non-Mandalorian, live action show. Which one do you prefer?
What, out of Book of Boba Fett or Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, hands down.
Really?
Book of Boba Fett was good. It was good. But Obi-Wan, it fits it for me. To me, it's part of the trilogy, part of the 3 trilogies, or at least the 2 trilogies. Whereas Book of Boba Fett is a side story.
Yeah.
So this is a continuation of that Anakin Obi-Wan story throughout the entire 6 movies. Book of Boba Fett is and the Mandalorian they're both great, but they're both sidelines.
Yeah,
they're both side stories.
Right. I imagine
it's kind of like
I imagine now that in Lucasfilm they have like quite a big task ahead of them, because what they're going to need to do is they're going to have to get Ewan, Hayden, and also hopefully Liam Neeson to stay on, reprise their roles continually, and that might be in the form of, we're just going to go for it and do a second season. And they're like, okay, cool. And then we see Ben Kenobi learning from his master all these new, like, high-level Jedi skills that we just haven't seen before, like how to cross over, force spirits.
Yeah.
Because that's
force projection.
I mean, that's something that's really important in A New Hope, is that Ben is almost as if he doesn't die, because Vader cuts him down and he's already gone. He's vanished into thin air, and even Vader's like, where the fuck did he go? And then he appears as a Force ghost, and he's talking to Luke already and instructing Luke.
Well, Qui-Gon was already, if you listen to episode 1, Qui-Gon specifically told Obi-Wan, be mindful of the living Force. So Qui-Gon was already in that mindset of the living Force, and that's how he was able to continue his consciousness after death. So, and that's something he needed to teach Obi-Wan, and to see them teach that. But as far as them staying on, if you remember, they had that trailer for Tales of the Jedi at Celebration, and you're going to show a young Dooku and young Qui-Gon, or training one young Qui-Gon.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
And Liam Neeson is doing the voice for Qui-Gon.
Oh man, I would be ecstatic to see a young Dooku. Dooku is got to be one of my favorite villains in the Clone Wars. Oh, he's good.
This is back when he's still a Jedi and disillusioned, but he's still a Jedi.
We got 2 months now. There's going to be this like the calm.
Low.
So we're actually now, like what you said before, we're actually going to have an overlap now. We'll be watching Star Wars twice a week. I don't know if it's going to be, Andor drops on a Wednesday, and then we get the new Bad Batch dropping on a Friday. But at some point in August, they're going to overlap. This week, people will talk about that last episode of Kenobi, but then the focus will shift very rapidly onto the next project, and people will talk about what's going to happen in the Bad Batch. I'm sure there'll be some leaks. Andor, I actually went back and I watched that trailer again yesterday for Andor. So good. And then there are three.
It looks great.
There are 3 trailers that none of us have seen yet, right? Unless you were lucky enough to go to Anaheim. We all need to see the teaser trailer for Ahsoka. We need to see what.
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Did I not post that? I posted that to you.
I'm not gonna watch that. The quality is so terrible. I can't do it.
It's only like a 30-second clip, and you only get to see a few things. But it was really neat because you see the old. You remember the training droid on that ship that with the younglings, the old droid that had been on that ship, showing them how to do their lightsabers.
Yeah,
you actually see that droid in the trailer. And
yeah, I didn't watch even the one, the Mandalorian, the season 3, the one that was uploaded to YouTube and then very quickly taken down. I didn't watch it because when I want to watch a Star Wars trailer, I have to be in the moment. Like I want to be sitting here at my desk with my surround sound system, volume cranked all the way up, and I want all my lights go off, and I just like boom. I want that experience. It's going to hit me.
Me, I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment, and I just soak up anything that has that content.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's as long as I can see it and tell what it is, I'm good. It's not like I wouldn't watch the shows like that, but the trailers and stuff.
I think I might have broken my speakers. I bought some Yamaha speakers that connect to my widescreen TV, my flat screen TV, and they've got this really nice bass on them. So whenever there's a vehicle like passing overhead in space, the whole of my apartment rumbles, and I cranked it up way too far, to be honest, with that last episode, and now I can hear like it's distorted. So yeah, Deborah Chow, you broke my speakers.
You owe me speakers.
Liar! Okay, that just about wraps it up. I think that's cool. We did all 6 episodes, and I've got like a whole playlist for Kenobi, and I just want to say a huge freaking thank you to Eric, who's joined me on every single one of these. Yeah, man. And I'm hoping that, in a couple of months' time, we can see each other again and talk about Bad Batch and
Bad Batch and
yeah. All right, man.
Star Wars.
Where's Eric gone again? Wait a minute.
Low battery.
Okay, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press like, and then follow Return of the Nerd each week. I got 3 videos. Number 1 is my vlog, talking about my online store with the action figures. Number 2 is the action figure posing, and then number 3, we'll be doing a review of like content that we're actually watching, or could just be me and Eric talking about random Star Wars stuff.
Yes. See you later.
Bye.